You good there, or you want to sit? You want to sit here? Hi, I'm Kaylin, and I am on location right now because I'm visiting my mom in Virginia. So I don't have Oberon, and in case you're used to seeing Oberon, I thought I would bring you Suki today. Suki is my daughter's Chihuahua. She's a sweet little barky thing, but I thought she would make a great companion, and I thought she might be a little more interactive, because as wise as my owls are, sometimes Suki talks a little more. So today I want to talk to you about something that's really been up and that I've really been noticing, and that is the power of your positive beliefs and convictions. So what this is all about, sort of some of where I'm coming from with this, is generally speaking, the more belief-free you are, the more free you are. And that's because when you have beliefs, they tend to be limiting in the sense that a belief doesn't change, whereas life is ever changing. So right now, you know, in life, everything around me is growing. My companion just decided to leave me, which was probably an evolutionary thought for her. I have a tree behind me, it's growing, it's changing. And every now moment, therefore, is not the same. So every time, you know, that there's a new now moment, things change. And a really good way of capturing a feeling of that is when I do my videos and when I do editing, I often will leave in some of my blunders for two reasons. One reason is I really want the videos to be authentic, and I really want for them to be sort of fun for me. And if I'm trying to be perfect, I'm going to take the fun out of it. So in a place of non-judgment, I try to leave the blunders and just go with the flow. Sometimes the blunder's a little bigger, or something happened and I have to edit. And then it's really hard to do the editing. I have newfound respect for editors, because every now moment is never exactly the same. So that when I'm trying to splice my videos together to make it look smooth from one frame to the next when there's been a real change because I cut something out in between, it's not a smooth transition. You know, a lot of the times, if you're paying attention, there's like a little glitch, sort of like in the movie The Matrix, a little glitch, because the now moment is ever changing. And with that ever changingness, unless you have each step in a video, it's really tricky to make it look like it's a smooth transition when you've cut something out or when you've spliced things together, kind of thing. So that was a very long explanation for the fact that the now moment is ever changing, but I really wanted to give you a sense of how ever changing it is. The way that my guidance explains it, they say that the universe never lines itself up in the same way more than once. And if you know anything about energy and energy flow and Feng Shui is all about the lining up of the universe and the stars, and that's how they attribute energy and the way that energy flows in your home or your office space. When they Feng Shui your home, they're looking at the lineup of everything, which will never line up the same way. So it's really significant, because when we recognize that, then we can start to sort of understand more proportionally the fact that a belief doesn't change. If I believe that, you know, pine trees are beautiful, and I don't change that, what if pine trees change and they stop being beautiful? Because they are still changing and evolving. But my belief isn't necessarily observing them to make sure that they still are beautiful. So my belief, if I maintain my belief and the pine trees, let's say they get rotten, they get a disease, well, if I'm imposing, if I continue to believe that pine trees are beautiful, I might not see what's right in front of me. And that totally happens, totally to everyone, more often than you might think. So we say that beliefs aren't really a beneficial thing, because they lock you into one thought when every now moment is really different, and every now moment is evolving, and that belief isn't evolving. Okay, so that was really long, but I wanted to really make the point, because what happens is, because of that, one thing is we often want to change our beliefs, and we certainly don't want limiting beliefs. And that's a concept that's become very popular in the last few years, which is a really great thing, because I think it's got people looking at their beliefs based on this whole idea that things are evolving, or that your belief might not really be right, so to speak. So you want to really stay more fluid in your beliefs. Now, the flip side though, and what I haven't seen, is the positive side and the positive conviction of your beliefs. In other words, when I watch the news, there's all sorts of things about racism and how we believe it's wrong. And I'm not saying it's right, but I'm saying there's a lot of conviction behind that. Or lately on the news, we've been hearing that there are new politically correct terms, like a housewife is no longer a housewife, she's like a domestic engineer. And that comes from a belief, a belief that there's something wrong with a housewife. I was a housewife for many years, and I thought that it was one of the most wonderful things I did in my life. I don't understand a belief like that behind it. So my point is that there's a lot of focus and a lot of emphasis in life, in society, and then it's hard for us not to pick up a lot of emphasis on negative beliefs, on what you shouldn't believe. And I think in a way that's good. You should question things. We should question. I mean, maybe housewife is a really good term for me, maybe it's not for you. And in that case, you believe differently, you have a different experience. And a different experience, of course, is different than a different belief, but we'll leave that for another video, because this is already probably getting a little long. But now let's talk instead about having a positive belief, a positive conviction. So I see this sometimes in people, and when I see it in people, they have great intent in their lives, and they have great conviction in their own positive belief, and it is like an endless supply of gasoline for their car, but instead it's for themselves. It is like an endless fountain of youth in them, because it gives them a lot of energy, vivacity, and it really empowers them. It really just gives them the strength, all because they have a positive conviction behind their own belief, their own intent. Maybe it's their mission in life. And now I'm sort of starting to mix words, right? The belief, the conviction, and their intent in life. And for now, I'm going to allow myself to mix them, because I want you to get a sense of the idea that it's something that is meaningful to them, and they're just very with it, and they really believe in it, and they're very aligned to it, and it's really, they're letting it become who they are. So it's really become all about them and who they are and what they're doing. And when someone has something like that, like I said, they're really unstoppable. So how do you find that? Because I think for so many of us, if we're not in touch with our passion, and whether or not we're in touch with our passion, we go to work and there's problems, and we're maybe in the rat race, hopefully not, but still, even if you're not in the rat race, you get up and you kind of do the same things every day, and and it can be sort of monotonous, and you might kind of go, Kaylin, yes, gosh, how could I not want that? How could I not want to be in that kind of phenomenal place? How do I get there? I love my art, or I love my family, and I love what I do, and I have, a strong belief in this or that, but what do I do? What you need to do is you need to really stop now and look to see what's really important to you in your life. What's important to you is very meaningful. And I want you to make sure that it's not a belief. Make sure to question what's important to you. Ask yourself why it's important to you. But as you develop what's important to you, and as you look at that, from there, you're going to come up with the ways and the directions that you want to go in to develop that positive conviction. So as an example, a little while ago, I kind of said to myself, you know what? I really want to get back into my yoga. I love yoga. I've done yoga for a long time, but it's been very on and off, because when my daughter started going to school, I had to start to get up early, and yoga kind of got cut out, and that's the way life often goes. But now I want to refocus on it. I've decided that having that time to connect with myself and to sort of get my body in a good place is really meaningful to me. And so I've decided that that's going to be one of my convictions. And so I've been doing yoga almost every day, but pretty consistently for a while now, and I feel good about it. I'm not trying to make myself do it. And I got a great comment on Facebook from someone, a message saying, you know, that she loves the videos and she loves this idea, like she sees where the trying isn't helping her. When I try to make myself do my yoga, and sometimes you have to, so don't beat yourself up if you are, because you'll get out of the flow. But, you know, the trying is never as successful as that conviction, as me going, I want to do my yoga. You know what? I want to feel good. I really like this. I want to feel good. And I might be tired and I might be sore. And in those cases, I've decided to take an easier yoga routine so that I still feel good about it. So I'm getting rid of the trying, but instead I'm going, you know what? I am a yoga baby. I am someone who likes to do this, and that's made it a lot easier to do. There's no trying going on. There's no sort of mental, when am I going to do it? I have to schedule. You know, there's none of that. It's more like every morning I wake up and I remember to do it. I go, oh, when am I going to have time for my yoga? Do I want to do it now? Do I want to do it later? But it's like a nice thing, and I'm scheduling it in a way, but in a more natural flow. Kind of like, when am I going to go out to coffee? How am I going to fit it into my day so that I feel good and I'm happy? So I want you to really think about what it is that's going to be important to you, what will make a really big difference, and then put your power of your conviction behind it. Identify with it. Recognize how it can help you be more of who it is that you are. This will naturally put you more in the flow because you're being more of yourself, and it'll really help you get some momentum going in your own life, get some excitement going. It'll help develop some passion if you feel like you don't have passion, and it'll help you be in a place where you're feeling really good about yourself, and that is so priceless. Therein lies so many riches of life. I love to talk about the riches of life, and I love to talk about the biggest riches of life have to do with liking yourself, feeling good about you, feeling good about your day, because then, you know, wonderful things can happen and you're good, terrible things can happen and you're good. So really tap into the positive conviction of your heart, your feelings, and you're going to find that you really can't help but tap into the riches. So just one last time for you, find what's important, really sit a little with it, find yourself in it, develop that a little, and then as you do it, make it a habit and a routine where even if all you're doing every day is taking a few minutes thinking about it, you're going to be sort of, it's like putting a dime or a dollar in the bank every day, and it'll start to gather. You'll see, it'll give it, you know, you give it some time and you'll get the snowball effect going for developing something wonderful in your own life to really help you expand yourself, help you feel good about yourself, and help life be filled with those riches.